Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to our next installment in the Arab African mining series of sessions. Hopefully you will have all seen the preceding comment by Her Excellency Honorable Aïssatou Sophie Gladima from Senegal. Immediately preceding this session, we're delighted to have welcomed her to give a keynote speech, of which I'll be providing some remarks shortly, as that was in French. Our panel today, I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Rokhaya Samba Diene, who is the National Director of Prospection and Mining Promotion at the Ministry of Mines and Geology, who will be updating us on the latest developments in mining in Senegal. Alongside her, from Dakar, in the same room, I understand, is Mr Amadou Camara, who is the Director General of MIFERSO. Hello to you, Mr Camara. And yes, we're looking very COVID secure, which is excellent there. Together with Mr Martin Orji, who is the Managing Partner of Nex Rubica Capital. Martin, where are you joining us from today?
I'm in London.
Oh, you're in London. Okay, fantastic. A fellow Londoner. And Patrick Mizundo from, are you also in the UK, I understand, Patrick? Yes. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Well, we are going to kick off with just some preliminary remarks from the Minister. I'll just briefly summarize those. The Minister mentioned that a new fund has been established to fight coronavirus that has been implemented by the President of the Republic of Senegal, and facilities have been offered by banks for mining companies. However, all artisanal mining in Senegal has been stopped for the time being. So we are certainly keen to understand more what's happening in the mining industry there. Dr. Rokhaya is going to update us now in French. I will also prepare some remarks to offer towards the end of this session, and we will put any questions at the end of the session as well. So, Madame Rokhaya, c'est à vous pour... allez-y, Madame, merci.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Alaoui. Donc, comme vous l'avez dit, je suis la directrice de la prospection et de la promotion minière au ministère des Mines du Sénégal, Mines et Géologie du Sénégal. Et j'aimerais, à l'entame de mon propos, vous présenter les excuses de Madame le ministre Aïssatou Sophie Gladima, qui est retenue par le Conseil présidentiel sur la relance économique. Donc, vous avez compris que cela est lié à la pandémie de la COVID-19. Pour ce qui concerne le Sénégal, comme vous le savez, l'exploitation minière remonte aux années 1960 avec l'exploitation des phosphates. Donc, les phosphates sont la principale ressource qui est exploitée au Sénégal. Et donc, il faut dire que l'État compte sur le secteur minier pour le développement économique et social. Et donc, c'est pourquoi le secteur minier a été pris parmi l'un des 6 secteurs prioritaires du plan Sénégal émergent, donc en 2014. Et ce plan Sénégal émergent aussi, dans sa nouvelle version PAT 2, a aussi retenu le secteur minier pour booster l'économie. Donc, avec l'accélération de l'exploitation de phosphates, comme je l'ai dit tantôt, nous avons aussi l'accélération de l'exploitation de l'or. Pour l'or, nous avons des projets, donc, comme le projet de Teranga Gold, qui a acquis récemment une autre zone de barrique à Massawa, toujours dans la même zone, et qui va contribuer avec le démarrage d'un autre projet or de Petroal Mining Company, donc dans la zone de Mako, qui va contribuer à atteindre les objectifs du PSE. Nous avons aussi des projets avancés d'or, donc la recherche avancée qui se tient toujours dans la zone, avec IAM Gold que je peux même mettre dans les projets d'exploitation, parce qu'ils ont acquis leur permis d'exploitation depuis 2019. Nous avons également de petits projets comme AfriGold SA qui a déjà démarré depuis 2018 et qui se poursuit. Sored Mine aussi qui a démarré ses tests de production depuis 2019. Et donc voilà un peu tous les projets or que l'on a actuellement au Sénégal. Pour ce qui concerne les phosphates, bien sûr, nous avons les industries chimiques du Sénégal qui produisent de l'acide phosphorique, donc qui est importé. Nous avons la société de la mise en valeur de la vallée, donc la Somiva, qui produit aussi des phosphates et Cephos, et une nouvelle société, Baobab Mining, qui a démarré sa production en 2019. Pour la troisième substance qui est exploitée au Sénégal, nous avons le zircon, les minéraux lourds, dont l'évolution montre que de 2018 à 2019, nous sommes passés de 80 000 tonnes à 93 000 tonnes. Donc c'est aussi un projet qui fait partie des projets identifiés par le plan Sénégal émergent et qui déjà a atteint les objectifs du PSE. Avec la Grande Côte Operation qui travaille dans la zone de Thiès. Nous avons aussi Afrique qui est en train d'installer son usine de traitement. Et donc, tous ces projets-là concourent à l'atteinte des objectifs du PSE. La relance du projet FER, M. Camara y reviendra tout à l'heure, je ne vais pas trop y insister, mais pour vous dire que, comme l'a dit Madame le ministre dans son discours, donc tous ces projets sont bien suivis et on espère que les objectifs du PSE seront atteints dans les meilleurs délais. Maintenant, face à la COVID, il n'y a pas eu d'interruption. Les projets ont continué à se dérouler. Le problème, c'était juste la barrière, les restrictions de déplacement. Mais là aussi, le ministère a joué son rôle d'accompagnement en facilitant le déplacement des expatriés avec ses homologues des autres ministères. Maintenant, pour l'exploitation artisanale, nous sommes en train de développer une stratégie de promotion, d'encadrement des mines artisanales. Et dans les jours à venir, nous allons partager ce qui a été fait. Mais toujours pour booster l'économie, nous sommes en train de développer la stratégie nationale de contenu local dans le secteur minier. Donc, les travaux ont démarré et, Inch'Allah, lors du salon virtuel que nous préparons, nous allons échanger partager les conclusions de ces travaux. En gros, c'est ce que je voulais dire pour ne pas répéter ce que le ministre a déjà dit dans son discours. Je vous remercie de votre attention.
Merci beaucoup, Dr Rokhaya, pour cette explication de ce qui se passe maintenant au Sénégal. Je vais juste traduire pour notre délégué. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just offer a brief summary of what was mentioned by Dr Rokhaya. Firstly, she wanted to offer her apologies that Madame Aissatou could not participate directly in the webinar itself, as she has been called to alternative duties by the President. But Dr. Rokhaya was really talking about the kind of how the mining sector in Senegal has been proceeding according to plan, with a real focus on the three minerals, which are gold, phosphates, and zircon. In 2014, Senegal has implemented a new phase, let's say, for the mining sector, a new plan for mining in Senegal, focused on accelerating the exploration of gold in particular. Obviously, we're aware of the major organizations that are already operating in the gold sector in Senegal, be it Teranga, Tora Gold, IAM Gold, and Rang Gold, and now Barrick, which a new project for gold is being done, has been advanced by IAM Gold, as well as smaller projects by AfriGold. So the gold sector, the exploration, and the production of gold is in line with what has previously been put forward by the ministry. Phosphates is also a strategic priority for the ministry, and we can see a continuation of mining of phosphates in Senegal via the two organizations, which are the Industrie Chimique du Senegal and Someva, two companies which are both developing the phosphate sector. In terms of coronavirus, there has really been no interruption to the mining sector in Senegal. The ministry and Her Excellency, the Minister, have really focused on supporting expatriates and removing any restrictions to the continuation of mining in the country, and that has already been outlined by Her Excellency during her preceding speech. And as I understand it now, Mr Camara, the Director General of MIFERSO, will be presenting to us on iron ore in MIFERSO. Donc, Monsieur Camara, you can see the presentation? Okay, right. Allez-y, Monsieur Camara. The audience can see that.
Est-ce que vous l'avez, tout le monde la voit ou bien? Parce que moi, je peux sortir ça directement de mon, comment dirais-je, de mon smartphone.
Hein, oui, on peut voir, on est sur le premier, we are on the first slide, presentation of the Phalem project development.
Ça va être, attendez. Voilà ça. Donc, avant de commencer ma présentation, je voulais d'abord... Donc, je voulais d'abord, comment dirais-je, vous remercier pour l'invitation que vous faites chaque année à MIFERSO pour faire une présentation à Arab African mining. So for that, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Talking about, yes, coronavirus, just to follow my colleague Rokhaya, I think one of the, yeah, I see it now. It's coming now, okay. One, I think, of the project in Senegal which have been affected by the coronavirus, I think it's mainly the project Phalem. As you can notice, we have signed in October 2018 an agreement, MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with a big company which is activities is focused in what we say steel making, Tosyali, a Turkish group. We signed with Tosyali in October 2018 an MOU. And we was developing, what we say, this MOU. And our last meeting with Tosyali was in December 2019. We scheduled to, what we say, to meet and to, what we say, in... Yeah. And we scheduled to meet in January 2018 to start negotiation for a convention for mining and steel production with the Phalem iron ore. Unfortunately, coronavirus is here, and since we say December 2019, we are staying in the same place. So we wish that we will restart to what we say, to discuss with Tosyali in the coming weeks and as soon as possible. So I want I will now present you the new strategy which has put in place to develop the Phalem project with Tosyali and with other potential partners. The slide you see the location of Senegal in Africa, and you see July 29th, 2020, because usually the what we say Arab African mine is taking place in July, July. That's why you see July, but it's a presentation you can read not July but September. Okay. Next slide. Next. Okay, you have here the location of the Falémé iron ore in the what we say extreme zone southeast in Senegal. We have there a contention about 1,100 square meter contention with around let us say 800 million of iron ore, hematite and magnetite. And in the first, what we say, strategy, it was supposed to what we say, to exploit this iron ore by opening what we say, open pit mine and transfer and what we say, producing around 12 million tons of iron ore, transport this 12 million ton from the south east to what we say the center in Dakar, the east, the west, center west of the country Senegal, in Dakar, where we have to construct a deep water port, minus 22 meters, and to export what we say the iron ore. This is the first strategy which was planned, what we say, several years ago. Okay, next slide. Please, next. Okay, here you have the different reserves of the iron, different, what we say, deposits. We have in the south, the main deposits, Kudekuru, with 258 million tons of iron ore. And in Stu, the grade is around 58% of iron ore. And you have also the center, Farangalia and Kurukobi, and the north, Kurujako and Karakayan. And in the center, mainly you have Goto, Farangalia, and Safa magnetite. And the process of magnetite is different of the process of hematite. For the magnetite, we need magnetite separation and a lot of water and energy. For the south and the north, you have hematite. Which is, when we say, processing is very easy. It's just for our iron ore, crushing and washing. And we have two types of iron ore. We have, when we say, minerai en morceaux, lump ore and fines. And the lump ores the grade is around 65%, and the lump is around 36%. Okay, next slide. This is what I was talking, the quality, lump ore after processing. You have 65% of Fa with what we say the granulometry is between 25 millimeters and 63 millimeters. And for the fines, you have 62 to 0.0 millimeters. And for the magnetite, we have, after magnetite separation, we have 65 of grade Fa. Now the strategy is focused in what we say, in the hematite. And what you see around is when we say the camp and the different, what we say, sample we have in our camp here, in the southeast of the country. And this is the iron ore in the, what we say, the right. The iron ore is outcrops. We are working on the iron ore. Mining these iron ores is very easy. Huh? Excuse me. Next slide, please, if you can do it. Yes. Non. Attention, je crois que c'est ce qui c'est 4. Okay. Now the new strategy is now consisting to make what we say a mining and steel making complex in 3 phases. The first phase we have signed with Tosyali, a Turkish company, to have an area here in Dakar, not far from where we are here right now. They are in what we call in a ZES, zone economic special. It's a free zone. And Tosyali is there. In the first phase, Tosyali will install a steel plant and to produce a rebar, reinforcing bar, and some rod to supply the existing factories in Senegal and the civil engineering companies to build the infrastructure, etc., etc. And Tosyali is now insulating infrastructure to produce around 600,000 tons of rebar and rod per year. This is the first phase. But the input regarding the billet will coming, outside the country. It will be foreign. This is the first phase. And the second phase, we will integrate if you see in the left and this slide, the left, upper left, you have the iron ore and the fine which coming. So the second phase will consist in to open a mine in the southeast of the country and to produce around 1.5 million tons of iron ore. And this iron ore will be, transformed into billet. And this billet will be substituted to the importing billet, the foreign billet, for the first phase. And now we will not staying in producing 600,000 tons of steel. Now we will produce in the second phase 1.2 million tons. We will double the capacity with integrating the existing iron ore and stopping the coming, billet outside the country. And passing to, involving from 300,000 tons to 1.2 million tons of steel, rebar, reinforcing, rod, etc., etc. And now, yes, next slide. This is what we produce Tosyali. This is the bar mills which will be produced by Tosyali. And this, this factory is now, this plant is now under construction here in Senegal. Let us say 5 kilometers far from where I am now. Yeah, and the activities are ongoing. The site and etc. Everything is ongoing. Yeah. Next slide, please, Mr. Alwai, if you can help us. I think we have, yes. No, the president. And now we are focusing in the capex, of what we need to do. In the phase, we will spend around $5 million US dollars for the first phase, putting the plant 5 kilometers far from here. And in the second phase, we will integrate the iron ore from Falémé, and the capex is around 210 million tons of 10 million US dollars. And the two phases are the capex for the two phases at around 206 million US dollars. And now we are coming to the integrated project, which is in what we call Senegal Emerging Plan, the SEP. And these what we say, project in terms of capex will be around $3 billion and will consist to build a bigger mine involving from 1.2 million ton to around 12 million ton per year, and 15 million, between 20 million to 15 million ton per year. And maybe in these 12 or 15 million ton, 4 million ton to 5 million ton will be used in the country to what we say, to get steel from bigger plants. What I want to say here is, as you know, in Senegal we have what we say discovered a lot of oil and gas, in Senegal. And we are what we say, working with the institution in charge of the oil and gas to see how we will use this gas to produce what we say, energy for our installations, mainly to produce what we call sponge iron, DRI, direct reduced iron. And also Tosiali is very interested for this in the what we say, second phase. Tosiali will produce around 2.5 million ton of sponge iron in two what we say, in two plants, one in the southeast of the country and one in the what we say, let us say northeast of the country. And each plant will produce around 2.5 million ton of sponge iron. And we are working with the two plant will be around 5 million ton of sponge iron. I don't know if you have, if you know what is sponge iron. Sponge iron is the iron which is reduced directly by the gas, by natural gas. And instead of using all the technology, blast furnace, you will use what you say, electric arc furnace. Electric arc furnace is a very, what we say, a good technology to produce, what we say, steel, and the iron, and we will also mitigate all problems which are affected in the what we say, environmental problems which can affect the country. Donc we will have new technology, electric what we say, arc furnace, and we will also in the same time produce a lot of what we say, steel. Using this steel in the Senegal emerging plant for the infrastructure, also using this steel to what we say, to produce pipe, to produce what we say, profile, to produce we say, flat products, etc., etc. And this will be in our comprehension and what we are our goal, the beginning of the industrialization of our country. And we have to do that quickly. If what we say, cause of the coronavirus, we have not begun this convention, signed this convention in this year, in the beginning of this year, January. But we hope that in the coming weeks, in the coming month, we will sign what we say, with Tosiali, and also with us as a potential, what we say, partners. Because if you see our, what we say, our concession, we have, I already told you, we have our main deposits in the south, others in the center, and others in the north. So we will have, we can, what we say, receive in our concession at least three potential partners. We have the first Tosiali, which will be installed certainly in the north part, and the two other potential partners will be installating in the center of what we say, the concession, and in the south of the concession. And we are continuing our promotion to find what we say, these two what we say, these two potential partners. We are working with Chinese, we are discussing with Chinese, and also we need, via this, when we say, this Arab African mining session of this year, to get some potential partners in Middle East, etc., etc. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Camara, for that very informative presentation on this very exciting iron ore and steel project in Senegal. Just one question for you, Mr. Camara. When this production is done, do you think, how big a producer of iron ore will Senegal become compared to other African countries?
Now I see we have what we say regarding exportation. You have two countries mainly. You have South Africa and Mauritania. And Mauritania is around today between 12 to 15 million tons. We will be in the same rank than what we say than Mauritania. We will be the second. Yeah, the second or the third. If we are 12, maybe the third. If we are 15, we will be the second. And our goal is to go upwards and to transform one part in Senegal and export one part in China, Europe, Middle East, etc. Okay.
And I understand, so you have signed the MOU with the Turkish company, but you are also looking for partners in other parts of the world, especially the Middle East or any other iron steel making organization. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and the financing you put at $260 million. So is this financing all provided? Is the government putting some of that, or do you also look for international partners on the finance side?
No, let us say this is the figures of Tosyali. This is financed this will be financed by Tosyali.
Okay.
This is the first and second phase in the north part, and it will be financed by Tosyali. We will have other figures with other potential partners, but this is existing, what we say, partner, let us say Tosyali.
I see, okay. And you talked about this, the phase 3, the $3 billion project with the integration with gas and so on in Senegal, so to produce the sponge iron. Is this happening in other African countries, or will this be a unique model for Senegal, really, to operate like that?
Sorry?
The sponge iron you talked about,
yes.
And the integration with the gas, the oil and gas discoveries you found. Is this a new facility for Africa, for Senegal, or is this happening in other countries in Africa as well?
Yeah, I think now it's just what we say happening in what we say in Algeria, and it has been done by Tosyali, our partners. Yeah, it's a new technology in Senegal, but it will be the second DRR plant in Africa after Algeria. So I want to what we say to precise that the $3 billion is just for the first phase, just for mine, to build a mine, to build a railroad, and to build the port infrastructure. But if we add what we say a DIR plant, if we add other, it will be around $7 billion US dollars. This is just the mining part, and the steel part will be around $4 to $5 billion to build the other steel infrastructure. Yeah. So now our strategy is not to get the iron ore and sell it directly, is to get the iron ore, to transform it in Senegal, and to have what we say, and to have to participate and to follow our countries until transforming into steel. So to participate in all the phase to get more added value for the country.
Yes, well, I think if the full industrialization of Senegal and all the value-added industries you mentioned, this will make a huge boost for jobs and employment, of course, in Senegal. So this is a very important project.
creation of what we say jobs, etc. Around, let us say, if still the first phase we will have just for the mine, we will have, let us say, 4,000 direct employment, 4,000 what we say jobs, and if we integrate the steel, we will have around 25,000 jobs in spread in the south, what we say, in the middle of the country and the east or west of the country. Yeah. Let us say Dakar, Tambacounda, and Kédougou.
That's fantastic. We wish you all the success, Mr. Camara, in developing this project, and we hope that the publicizing your project on the conference this way will attract you some interest, definitely from other countries. Martin, I'd be pleased to hand over to you now to talk. I understand about the financing side of your operations and how you're going to approach that. So please, the floor is yours, Martin, to update us.
Thanks, Hussein. I guess it's more adding to what Mr. Camara and Madame Diene have said already around the government's push and drive for developing the mining sector. Obviously, with COVID-19, there's been a big disruption to the supply chain for commodities globally. And I think this is where the Senegalese government have got it right in terms of focusing on logistics. So obviously our focus from an investment perspective has always been on the logistics to support the mining sector. So things like the railways, and obviously as Mr. Camara said, the export zones, the special economic zones are very critical. And if we look at the global market, China is still a dominant importer of, for example, iron ore. And as much as we can, there's a supply disruption, as much as, again, as Madame Diene said, with some of the mines stopping, and that's a supply disruption, we still see a rally in prices for commodities. The commodity price is still going up. Is probably the highest for the last 6 years. Okay, so investor confidence is high for commodities, and I think focusing on infrastructure, and I think this is where MIFERSO comes in, on the infrastructure of the mining sector in Senegal is critical. So so for us, it's the important thing is investor confidence. I guess capitalization of companies, and that is going to drive the growth going forward. And also, if we look at the dominant player, there's no real slowdown in their purchase of iron ore. So being China. So from a financing point of view, it's again, I think what we like to see and what we have seen in Senegal with the Ministry of Mines and MIFERSO is a focus on the logistics development, on the railways, on financing the railways, the freight rail into, for example, Kédougou, into the area, the mining areas. Obviously, rail is critical to any development. And from our point of view, usually the balance is a bit of a private equity, development equity, and the rest project finance in terms of debt for financing the project. And obviously the government of Senegal in this case will and has invested in infrastructure, the bulk infrastructure, and has created the corporate vehicle, in this case MIFERSO, that can allow it to partner within a PPP model with pretty much investors. So we like that approach. It works very well when our partners, equity funds and investor partners, are coming in to be development partners. But it also works very well when we sort of start looking at the pricing in terms of the tenor and how we want to sort of price the project for the debt on the debt side. What was very interesting to note from Mr. Camara is the domestic market. And as much as we have, with COVID-19, one of the lessons it has taught us is that there has to be some level of domestic markets to drive certain products and economies. And as much so, and that's why I think this oil and gas, the gas exploration and production that is going on in Senegal is very critical, because that is an immediate market for the millions, the 1.2, 1.5 billion tons that will be essentially fed into the various players there, like your BPs and your Woodside Petroleum, who all need to build rigs, who all need to sort of develop that sector, who have put in billions of dollars already in the oil and gas sector. So for us in Senegal, our focus in Senegal obviously has always been on the logistics or freight rail, has also always been on the oil and gas side, just because you need power to run your factories. So there's a big drive for gas to power. There's a big drive to get to get a lot of to monetize the gas in the gas blocks in Senegal and export this. So there's a clear and I think maybe you picked up on that, Hussein, with what Mr. Camara and Madame Diene were talking about the emerging Senegal plan. It's very critical in the fact that it focuses on logistics, export zones, free trade zones, and freight rail. So I think these, for us, in looking at the especially with what Tosiali is trying to do, it fits in with the emerging Senegal plan, but it also fits in with our own approach to investing and our investors' approach to coming into markets like Senegal, just because it's a lot easier from a valuations perspective, where you have off takers at each node of the value chain. So there's an off taker on the mining portion. There's an off taker on the logistics in terms of the rail, and obviously there's an off taker where it comes to supplying some of these iron ore products to the oil and gas sector. So you've got various off takers with balance sheets to support whatever financial model you want to create, whether it's to fund the railways or the logistics, or to fund the mine itself, or to fund the supply of products to the oil and gas industry. So I think with a lot of these things, it takes time, it takes government will, it takes the right policy, and I think that's what's happened in the last 3 to 4 years in Senegal, especially in the mining sector, whether it's with gold or with, and we see that, we see the same with gold. Obviously Mali is a little bit more advanced, but I think with what has happened in Senegal, especially with the political stability, we're going to see a lot of focus move away again, unfortunately, with instability in Mali, move to Senegal and drive gold mining in that space. So we're very positive.
That's very interesting to hear. I mean, in terms of this emerging Senegal plan, Dr. Rokhaya talked about really the success of gold, I think specifically over the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, is the intention now to move to, as part of this plan, to move towards iron ore and and the full industrialization strategy? Is that the kind of next component of this emerging plan, basically, Martin?
Yes. So
Mr. Camara, for that matter, as well.
Yes, I mean, from what we've seen in terms of just dealing with the government of Senegal, I guess, in the last 5 years, it's been across the board. So it's been a model that we've obviously each product has its own lifespan, has its own development plan. So obviously we saw that with limestone and phosphates. We saw that with gold, and we're seeing that now with iron ore, and they're a little bit different. But the bulk infrastructure required to actually drive it has to have one plan of its own. So to your question, it is the bulk infrastructure is what underpins the development of all these other commodities, the export and development of all these commodities in Senegal. So yeah, so we don't see, from our point of view, we haven't seen specifically how it's different in terms of the logistics, but I think it's better that way, because then it allows them to have a benchmark in terms of how they want to build and grow each type of commodity. So yes, it does apply to gold as well as iron ore, as well as phosphates.
Mr. Camara, Her Excellency the Minister talked, I think it was about a fund that has been implemented by the President for fighting coronavirus. Do you have any comment on that? Because I think this is maybe quite a unique example for Africa in terms of the political movement there. So, I mean, can you give us some information on how this is operating, actually? Allez-y. Yeah.
Mrs. Rokhaya will complete what I will say. But what I can say, I will take the example of MIFERSO. MIFERSO has some rights. We have a concession, exploitation permit. So we are like the gold operator, Teranga Gold, etc. During coronavirus, you say what we say, all the population was in a very, very difficult, positions in them for daily foods, for health, and for activities, transportation, etc., etc. We followed the action the government did. For example, helping the population to get some products, food products like rice, to soaps, and antiseptic products, and other activities was also to help them to be transported easily, to give some a lot of masks, etc., etc. And these actions we did helped a lot of the population. So the coronavirus was not really expanded in our country. Let us say today, I think we are in yesterday, I have not the figure of today, but yesterday we have in a percentage of 1 point something. And I think this different action helped the countries a lot, let us say, a lot to stop coronavirus and or to avoid coronavirus to be expanded widely in the country. Thank you.
Peut-être juste pour compléter l'intervention de M. Camara. Effectivement, vous savez que avec la COVID, la seule solution, c'était le respect des mesures barrières. Et donc, cela a entraîné un impact sur la mobilité des travailleurs. C'est pourquoi tout à l'heure, j'ai dit que l'État a accompagné les sociétés pour permettre aux expatriés de bouger. Il y a d'autres opportunités aussi qui sont liées à ces difficultés de la COVID, parce que cela a permis de développer un tissu de petites et moyennes entreprises à l'échelle locale, par la production de masques par les artisans, la production de gel, etc. Et donc, l'État, on peut dire que cette COVID a participé à l'émergence d'un tissu industriel, et les États doivent travailler à la création de PME qui puissent transformer sur place les produits. Et donc, en ce qui concerne l'accompagnement de l'État, le chef de l'État a mis en place 1000 milliards de francs CFA. Et le secteur minier, ou bien le département chargé des mines, a eu à bénéficier d'1 milliard de francs CFA sur ce fonds Covid. C'est un fonds spécial Covid. Et donc, le ministère a utilisé cette allocation pour accompagner les personnes vulnérables, notamment les femmes et les jeunes qui s'activent dans le secteur de l'exploitation artisanale, des carrières et de la sous-traitance. Donc, ça veut dire, tout à l'heure, Monsieur Martin a parlé de la fourniture en biens et services. Et donc, pour aider ces gens à développer ces activités de fournisseurs en biens et services, donc ces fonds ont été utilisés. C'est ce que je voulais ajouter à ce que Camara a dit, mais les compagnies minières aussi ont beaucoup contribué pour accompagner les communautés dans cette période de crise. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous, Madame. Je vais juste traduire pour nos délégués. Dr. Rokhaya, ladies and gentlemen, was just talking about obviously the biggest issue in terms of coronavirus is the implementation of, the reassessment of borders and barriers between countries and mobility of staff of mining companies and the population at large for that matter. But the state has helped with this. The state has also supported small and medium enterprises in Senegal to produce PPE, which actually has kick-started a local industry in this regard. In terms of the coronavirus fund, I believe the figure is 100 billion French francs, which has been used as an allocation really to support vulnerable people operating in the exploration sector and to support small and artisanal scale mining, young and vulnerable people operating in that industry. Une question pour vous, Monsieur Camara, which is from our live audience. Which is on Tosiali Holding, which I believe is the organization you have mentioned, which is partnered with MIFERSO. Do they carry out their own mining or do they use contact mining companies? And apart from the kind of, what sort of partnerships are you looking for specifically in terms of foreign partners?
Yeah, it's what we see, PPP, what we say, partnership, private-public partnership. It's what I would say we are seeking for. So with Tosiali, let us say for the mining, I think Tosiali in his group has his own mining department. Where just after this signing, the MOU was signed in October 2018. We received in Senegal, a mining team of Tosiali, and they went to the mine site and getting some sample and to analyze this sample. And after analyzing the results was good for them. I think that Tosiali will not subcontract the mining activity. They will do it. He will do it itself. It's what we say. So as we say, it's now ongoing in the different part of the mining company in the world. They can, I think, they may subcontract the mining activities. But what I see, what I have seen with them in November 2018, I suppose that they will do their own mining activity. But for MIFERSO, the goal is our goal is to have a sharing product partnership. Yeah. For example, I already told you that we want to follow a product from pit to port and from port to steel plants. Since we are in Senegal, let us say from pit to exit of the steel plants. It's our option, yeah, to follow with Tosiali, to go with Tosiali from the mine, the pits, until the exit of the product. It should be rebar, flow, flat product, etc., to participate in the value, value addition. Yeah.
That's a tremendous opportunity for any companies working on that value chain to really cooperate with you. So I think that's tremendously interesting. Another question here: what is the investment horizon for the mine development in phase 3, Falem project development? I mean, I think I may have answered this already in terms of $3 billion. Is that the correct figure?
Yeah, for the third phase, it will be for the mine, the railway, and the port infrastructure. It will be $3 billion.
Okay. Martin, we have about a final few minutes. So, Martin,
yeah,
to offer to our audience on the Falem project or any other aspects of mining in Senegal at the moment. Any
few points on?
Any just final remarks you would like to make on what has been discussed during this panel today?
I think most have been covered. I think the important thing is about, when it comes to financing, you've got to look at pre-development, development, and then ongoing financing. And I think, with Tosiali's participation, from what I understand, they've taken about 30% of the reserves, iron ore reserves of Faleme. So that is essentially your pre-development, because it kickstarts the logistics, the rails, and pretty much everything else. So it's I think, compared to most of the countries that we work in as well, it's, Senegal is further down the line because they've got this huge investment that's already happening across the value chain, as you said, and that's already moving. And we're also involved in a couple of financing projects in Senegal in the mining sector as well as in the logistics side. So yeah, I mean, we're quite positive, especially with the way the markets are going. The valuations are up for commodity companies. Whatever supply chain issues is going to be, having a strong, clear, defined logistics solution mitigates that. So I think we're in the right direction.
Thank you very much, Martin. I think we can all agree that the leadership in Senegal is really putting the country in the right direction, and we really look forward to the development of this project in iron ore and other projects. On behalf of the panelists, I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us today. Merci à vous, Dr. Rokhaya, pour vos commentaires. C'était très informatif. Merci beaucoup. Mr. Camara, thank you very much for presenting the project. If there is any interest from our delegates, please do reach out either to myself or Mr. Camara directly. I'll be happy to provide any partnership introductions, as well as to Dr. Rokhaya and to Martin. Donc, a virtual round of applause to everybody. Thank you to all our panelists in Dakar and to Martin also in London, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.